Hello and welcome to the Recursion Cafe, where we play games from the discard pile. In today's game of Unmatched, we have myself on the left and Ema on the right. I am playing Moon Knight, a solo hero with 3 movement and 16 health, who has 3 identities that he cycles through at the end of every turn. Moon Knight is able to move 2 spaces at the start of his turn, Khonshu adds +2 value to his attacks and does not take effect damage, and Mr. Knight gets +1 to all his defense values. So all in all, pretty versatile. On the right, Ema is playing Yennenga, a ranged fighter with 2 movement and 15 health with 2 archers who are also ranged and have 2 health each, and Yennenga is able to siphon damage off to those archers when she's in the same zone as them. So a couple of notes about this game: we're both playing one of our favourite characters, so we're reasonably well practiced at them. And here is the results for the poll that I put up on my channel, looking pretty balanced overall. Also to note, we played this game before Baked Goods' Unmatched Tier List 2023 came out, where Yennenga is apparently a bad matchup for Moon Knight. I'm not sure I'd have put it as a notably bad matchup. I think they were pretty even, and I'm feeling pretty confident about Moon Knight, but let's see how this goes. I know Ema is a very good player and Yennenga is one of his best, so it's a good test. So right off the bat, I'll Moon Knight hop and then maneuver in and attack with a good enough for us with the high ground for 5 value into 2, but point blank means I do take 2 damage on the return shot, and Yennenga will pass off all 3 damage, spreading it across herself and her archers. I wonder what's coming next. Oh hey look, it's the one with the land. So for full value, Yennenga is able to heal all of her archers and herself back up to full and move and draw a card. I thought I'd jump in, be aggressive and take advantage of the high ground, but Ema played that really well, getting essentially 2 free damage and then full healing. It looks like Yennenga will shift up to the right side of the map, and I will follow aggressively with Travelers of the Night as Khonshu gaining an action and moving right up to Yennenga for a double attack program, most likely, is my intent anyway. Past and Present Intermingle for a 7 value using the Travelers of the Night boost. So that's 7 into Stallion Charge's 3, so that's 4 damage that goes through. Stallion Charge can go through Khonshu, but it won't do any damage. And that's 3 damage taken across the archers and 1 on Yennenga. I'll then transition into Moon Knight. So starting off the game really aggressively, I know that Yennenga struggles a bit with card draw, and also I was going to be Khonshu on the second round, so may as well make the most of it. I will double maneuver as Mr. Knight and just try and keep myself in range. It looks like Yennenga will boost with an archer card to get into a better position and be in range to take a shot at Moon Knight. So here's the attack, and it's a surprise volley into we're all in this together. So immediately one of the defeated archers will come back and will be the attacker, and I do win the combat, so I will draw a card there. And starting off with Moon Knight, I am in range to get up close to Yennenga if I so wish. But it looks like I choose to go after an archer instead. The full health archer at this point might be better value, and usually they have fewer cards that they can defend themselves with. So let's see what I attack with. So first action, it is a totally same thing to do. So just in case there was a skirmish or something, I could, if I wanted to, push the damage through. But there's no need to do too much damage to myself, and I will then just maneuver and claim some sort of high ground, blocking off the archer from getting up there, while staying within range to attack Yennenga on the Khonshu turn. So here's an attack. It is a surprise volley into a feint. 1 damage does go through, but fortunately that's 1 archer down, so that's 2 health that Yennenga doesn't get back, which I'm pretty happy about. So far things appear to be pretty even. 13 health to 14 health. There's only been minimal healing so far, so we're in it for the long haul. So Khonshu walks in and attacks for the 5 value. That's the part I like. Immediately I will discard a card so that an archer doesn't come back, and then I will get to look at the top 3 cards of Yennenga's deck, because I did win the combat, and discard 1 and put the others in any order. So there's healing, there's shield formation, and there's surprise volley. So they're all really good cards. They all gain health back functionally. I think I decided this is the least conditional one, because this will, unless I feint it, this will always get an archer back. At least I can do something about the others. Yennenga will then respond with a Stallion Charge. I'll defend with an all in this together, so I do get the card draw, but Yennenga does ride through Mr. Knight and deal an auto damage. So currently we're on 12 health to 12 health. There is an archer in the way. I will attack with an I'm Not Real, which is like a lot of value to not have, but it means I can skip Mr. Knight to Moon Knight and then become Khonshu immediately afterwards and threaten again while Yennenga is still reasonably close by. So Yennenga will maneuver away, and likely just take up a position on the right side of the map. So the archers are gone, which means the one with the land won't get full value, which was part of the goal as Moon Knight, but also it means I don't have to worry about the archer cards like Pin the Prey, which can be pretty annoying. So here's a good enough for us at 6 value into a shield formation. That's 3 damage through, and I will of course discard a card to prevent an archer from coming back. I can also take 2 damage myself to draw 2 cards and keep up the hand count and keep up the aggression. So there I discarded we're all in this together. So big hit through to Yennenga. She's down to 9 health without archer support. So it's looking decent already. That's the first maneuver by Ema. Probably looking to get some distance. She has a 3 zone between us and she might be baiting me with Jaws of the Beast, but instead we'll go up to the high ground in that bottom left hand side. So I will take my time and double maneuver and pop to Moon Knight because I think I can get more value from the move up and potentially a double attack, but also I think I needed cards at that point. So here is a maneuver and then a 1 with a land for minimal value, but I suppose most of her archer recurring cards are gone now, so you may as well play it when you have it. 1 heal is still a heal. So it's 12 health to 10. I will Moon Knight hop. I'll try and close some distance. Yennenga is on high ground, but there's not too much I can do about that. So here's a Madness will keep you alive. There's some of that healing. I'll recover 2 health and gain an action. 14 health to 10. And I could have used this as a pass, but I think I wanted to keep up the card advantage, especially against Yennenga, who hasn't played any double attacks yet and has not played Master of the Hunt. So it's all still to play for. There's 2 discards. I'm glad to see the point blank gone. So Khonshu turn, I'll probably want to boost in and hit. There we are, as a boost with a that's why I always win. And it's a that's the part I like into a Jaws of the Beast. So this is where I realize, oh, I'm in a bad position. I got baited there. Well played by Ema. So 5 value into 6, he does fully defend that, and now I am Mr. Knight on the low ground, which is not great. I really should have taken the long way around if I could. I don't think I could have, but it's being there isn't great. Here's a Rain of Arrows into a feint, so it's a 4 value Rain of Arrows into a 3 value feint because she does have the high ground, but I do avoid that second attack, which I'm pretty happy with. So then Ema looks like he will maneuver. I am debating whether or not to move. We both have a fair amount of cards in hand, but I think they're just awkward, or we're kind of saving them for the kind of bigger threats. So I decided to draw up. Here comes the Master of the Hunt. So now I have to be careful because Ema can potentially chain lots and lots of actions. He's drawn a lot of cards, so he's probably got the cards he's looking for, but I have to be smart and try to feint correctly. Here's a skirmish into a Fist of Khonshu. I tried to get away, but skirmish does win and deal me 1 damage over that. Ema also picked a good time to attack when I wasn't Mr. Knight, so I don't have the defensive bonus. So skirmish will move me 1 step away. Here's another Master of the Hunt, so still 2 more actions. This might get messy. So I'm expecting a Rain of Arrows to come, right? Like it has to be on Ema's list of attacks to throw at me. And he's already baited with 1, so it's got to be this one, right? Nope, it's a skirmish into a feint. So that was my mistake and good bluff by Ema. So 2 damage goes through. Here's the attack, and I can only imagine this will be it. So here's the Rain of Arrows into a totally same thing to do. So 1 damage goes through. I decide to take 2 damage to deal 2 damage back, and then another 3 volley comes in, and it's a past and present intermingle. That may have been a bit of a mistake to defend the second one. Taking 3 damage is not great, but keeping past and present intermingle, especially for Khonshu, it could be a big deal. So here is a I'm not real into a momentous shift. So 1 damage goes through, and I have a second action because the Moon Knight ability let me hop. I could have changed and hit really hard as Khonshu, and that may have been worth doing after Ema depleted his hand. But I think I was also pretty low on defense, so it wasn't ideal. It wasn't an ideal engagement for me either. So Ema takes the high ground again and hops up to a really nice spot. I will travel to the Knight to the other side so that I'm not on a tri-zone space, and I will attack first action as Khonshu. 7 health to 7. Here's a 4 value Jaws of the Beast. Yeah, there it is. The 7 value past and present intermingle. So 7 into 4, 3 damage does go through, which especially on someone as tanky as Yennenga is a big deal. And then second action, I will maneuver away. Again, I would have loved to continue the aggression, but I don't think I had many cards in hand, and I didn't want to eat more big attacks from Yennenga. There is a boost with an archer card, and she will attack. And here is a point blank into a totally same thing to do. So Ema will then do 2 damage to me, and I decide, I think, not to do 2 damage to both of us. That puts us both down very, very low. And with the cards I had in hand, I wasn't feeling greatly confident at that point. So it's 5-4, very, very tight all the way through this game. So I will maneuver, I will heal, which is nice, but it does mean I'm not, that card in my hand isn't a defense card. And then I'll maneuver again, draw up, and become Mr. Knight. I'll stay right there. So Yennenga is running pretty long cards, as am I. It's really coming down to the end game. Yennenga will take a maneuver and attack. I will take it, but it might be the fact that I don't have any defense cards, and it's a full rain of arrows undefended. So I go from 7 health to 1, which is not ideal. So then I will maneuver and I'll just try and make it happen. Sorry, I'll Moon Knight Hop, and then I'll just got to try and make it happen, I think. Ema has 1 card in hand. Yeah, I think I decide to be aggressive. And that's why I always win into a Stellian charge. So there it is. Yennenga can run through me, and there's no way I can boost 4 value to defeat Yennenga. I boost up to a 5, dealing 2 damage, so Yennenga goes under 2 health, and then Moon Knight will eat Stellian charge, and that is game. That was a really fun game. Really pretty tight. It came down to the wire, and lots of fun stuff going on, especially with the identities and with Yennenga's card effects. I think Baked Goods is ultimately correct. Yennenga's deck has so much value, even if she didn't get all of the value off with the archers, that it's hard to punch through and deal real damage to her that sticks. Really well played there by Ema. Very, very smart decisions and good bluffing and saving up for that powerful, explosive 6 or 7 action turn. I hope you enjoyed the game. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.